In a time long past, in the ancient city of Verona, nestled between marble towers and sun-washed gardens, a tale was born, a tale of passion and fate, of tender love and bitter hate. This is not merely a story, it is a legend etched into the very soul of humanity. A story that has whispered across centuries, carried by poets, sung by lovers, and mourned by hearts that long for true, undying affection. This is the story of Romeo Montague and Juliet Capulet, two young souls, whose love rose like the moon in a sky of stars, only to be eclipsed by the shadows of family feud, pride, and fate. Verona. A city of beauty and blood. It thrived with life, its streets full of merchants, nobles, masked balls, and blooming rose gardens. But behind this elegance, a war raged silently in the hearts of two powerful houses, the Montagues and the Capulets. For generations, the families despised one another. The cause? Forgotten. But the hatred endured, passed down like a cruel heirloom. The feud poisoned everything, and the streets of Verona became the stage of countless skirmishes. In this world torn by pride, fate placed two innocent hearts. Romeo Montague, a sensitive soul and a dreamer, wandered through life in search of love. Melancholic over a woman named Rosalind who did not return his affection, he was convinced he would never know true love. Juliet Capulet, just 14, was a radiant bloom, wise beyond her years. She lived under the weight of expectation, promised to the nobleman Paris, though her heart remained untouched. And so, under the spell of the stars, destiny brought them together. At the grand Capulet masquerade ball, Romeo entered masked, against all sense and danger, with friends Mercutio and Benvolio. And there, amidst candlelight and music, he saw her, Juliet. Eyes met. Time froze. Their words danced like poetry, soft and unsure. If I profane with my unworthiest hand this holy shrine. Their lips met, and in a single, breathless moment, they knew. Their souls had known each other long before their eyes had. But love's revelation came with cruel irony, Juliet, a Capulet. Romeo, a Montague. They had fallen for their enemy. Night fell. The garden below the Capulet home was bathed in moonlight. Romeo, unable to bear the separation, crept beneath Juliet's window. And there, she appeared, as radiant as the moon itself, speaking to the night about her forbidden love. O Romeo, Romeo, wherefore art thou Romeo? She longed not for his name, but for his soul. Romeo stepped forth, and hearts poured open. There were no secrets now. In that sacred night, they pledged their love, not with jewels or contracts, but with truth and urgency. They would marry in secret. With the help of Friar Lawrence, a kind priest and hopeful soul who believed their union could end the family feud, Romeo and Juliet were married the very next day. It was a quiet ceremony, solemn and sacred. Two hearts became one under the eyes of heaven. But peace was short-lived. Destiny had not finished writing their tragedy. Later that day, in the heat of Verona's streets, tragedy sparked. Tybalt, Juliet's fiery cousin, burned with rage at Romeo's presence at the Capulet ball. He challenged Romeo to a duel. But Romeo, now kin to Tybalt through marriage, refused. But Mercutio, Romeo's friend, brash and bold, could not stand aside. He fought Tybalt, and fell. As Mercutio died, he cursed them both, a plague on both your houses. Enraged by grief, Romeo lost control. He fought Tybalt, and killed him. And so, the Prince of Verona banished Romeo. The city lost one son to death, and another to exile. Juliet, torn between love and blood, mourned for Tybalt but ached for Romeo. That night, Romeo returned to her side for one final embrace. Their time was brief, like a dream one wakes from too soon. They whispered vows, clung to each other like the tides to the moon. And then, he was gone. Juliet's father, unaware of her secret marriage, demanded she marry Paris within days. Desperate, she turned to Friar Lawrence once more. He gave her a vial, a sleeping potion that would mimic death. The plan: she would drink it, be laid to rest in the family tomb, and when she awoke, Romeo would be there, and they would escape together. She drank it, whispering Romeo's name, and fell into darkness. But fate was cruel. The message sent to Romeo, explaining the plan, never reached him. Instead, he heard only of Juliet's death. Broken, he rode through the night to her tomb, bringing with him a vial of poison. The air in the crypt was cold. Romeo stood before Juliet's lifeless form, radiant even in stillness. He kissed her lips one last time. "Here's to my love," he said, and drank the poison. Moments later, Juliet stirred. She awoke, to find Romeo dying beside her. She kissed him, but it was too late. With a dagger, she joined him in eternal sleep. The sun rose over a city drowned in sorrow. The Capulets and Montagues, brought together by their shared grief, stood before the tomb. The feud, now meaningless, ended with the price of 2 young lives. 2 monuments were raised, not of stone, but of love, to Romeo and Juliet. And so, centuries later, their love still speaks to us. It speaks of passion that defies hatred. Of youth that sees beyond division. Of a bond that even death could not break. Romeo and Juliet remind us that love, in its purest form, may be fragile, but it is eternal. Their story is not just a tragedy, it is a testament. A flame that still burns. For never was a story of more woe than this of Juliet and her Romeo.